For now, though, we're going to play a little Would You Rather. And let's start with the Cincinnati Bengals. If you're the Bengals, would you rather draft LSU's Joe Burrow, number 1 overall, or trade down and see what's behind door number 2 with all of the other stuff you get on top of it?
Well, yes. I still think I'd deal with Joe Burrow. I would. From what we saw this year, first off, SEC football, you don't see quarterbacks go off like this very often. I mean, this is a special, special year. This is a special talent, this kid. I mean, he's got a real good arm. It's not like a Patrick Mahomes arm or something like that, but it's a real good arm. He really knows how to play the position. He's got a great feel. He's an incredible athlete. Incredible. And I think for that, you trade down and this guy ends up being, and added to that, he's an amazing, he's got all the things you want as far as a communicator, face of the franchise, the way he handles himself, all those things. They'll be kicking themselves if it's 2 years from now and this kid's a star. And they're going to go, man, we passed him up after he just blew it up. So I'd say draft Joe Burrow.
It's the Kyler Murray theory all over again, Chris.
Exactly right.
Right. You don't want to pass on the guy who becomes the next big thing. When you have the opportunity to get a guy who's going to be a star, who's going to get people to come to your games, because right now, look around, there aren't a lot of people there. He's going to sell jerseys. He's going to generate excitement. He's going to make the Bengals relevant again if he's the goods, and it looks like he's the goods. All right,
wait. You got to give your answer there, Slugger.
That's my answer. That's my answer. Of course you take him.
Okay.
But I will allow for the possibility the Bengals will screw this one up. That will be part of the drama in the run-up to the draft. Will they screw it up? Will the Panthers or some other team make the Bengals an offer that they don't refuse? All right, next up, if you're a Vikings fan, would you rather see which of the following get an extension? Kirk Cousins or Dalvin Cook or Mike Zimmer or any combination of the three?
Well, it's like, to me, it's between Dalvin Cook and Mike Zimmer. I mean, those are the two that I'm worried about. I mean, you said what you want. Mike Zimmer's done an unbelievable job with the Vikings ever since he's been there. I mean, your squad has been relevant ever since he's been there.
There we go.
Yeah, and of course, in the final 8, been in the wild card, in the final 4. They've done a lot of great things. But I guess if you made me just narrow it down to one between Zimmer and Cook, I'm going to go with Cook. I mean, Cook is special, as we saw. I mean, he was definitely the guy responsible for the offense being what it was this year. And if he was good, the offense was good. If the run game couldn't get going, it wasn't. But he's one of the best running backs in football. We know that. So I go Cook.
But here's the thing. What if you extend Cook and the next coach decides he's not going to run the ball the way that they did with Zimmer and Kubiak and Cook mashing it into the line of scrimmage? Here's what I would do. And this came up yesterday on the PFTPM podcast. I talked about it earlier on the radio hour. I had an epiphany yesterday trying to figure out what the Vikings should do. I think they should just tell all of them, we're not giving out any new contracts. You have to go this year and get it. You have to earn it. And if you do, you'll get a contract on the back end. But the Vikings right now are in that category of good to pretty good. But they're not dominant.
Yeah.
And I feel like this formula on offense is not going to get them where they want to be. Chris, it'll get them to 10-6,
sure,
9-7, 11-5. It's not going to get them to the category of first overall seed, dominant team, kicking butt in the postseason. It's not going to get there.
I get that.
Give them every reason. Give them a carrot and a stick for 2020. And if they get it done, fine. You keep it going. If they don't, then it's easier to move on. What if you give all these guys extensions and they bottom out next year?
What's get it done,
and
though?
then you realize...
is this year, if they have the same results as this year, is that getting it done? I mean, that's...
I don't think that's good enough.
Okay.
I don't think that's good enough. I think that this spinning your wheels in that category of somewhere between 8 and 15 in the NFL, I don't think that's good enough. And I think it's problematic because the longer you're in that territory, the more impatient ownership is going to get. And if you have to do a rebuild, I guess my point is this. I don't want them to give in to the temptation to kick the can, extend all these guys, and then realize a year or two from now it's just not working, and we need to rip the Band-Aid off and start over. I'd rather them do it after the 2020 season if they have in Minnesota another year like they had this season. I just think that the Wilfs have every right to say to all of those guys, no extensions. The jury's out on whether or not we want to continue this beyond 2020. And they're big boys. They should be able to deal with it, right? Hey, Derrick Henry doesn't have a contract beyond this postseason.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill doesn't have a contract beyond this postseason. Is it causing them to play well or play poorly?
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand that. I mean, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying Dalvin Cook was the best player on their offense, one of the best players, in general in offense altogether in football this year. And even if you did change offensive coordinators or schemes, Dalvin Cook's talent is the kind that's going to translate to any offense, really. It doesn't matter. I mean, get the guy in space and watch out. Any offensive coordinator is going to love that. So, I mean, I hear your points there, but Dalvin Cook's within every right to also sit here and go, you know what? I was, arguably the best running back in the game last year. I'm going to sit my butt out. It's running back. He's already torn ACL once. So I would say, if anything, you sign him. He's not the guy I think I would penny pinch on. If you're going to start to penny pinch, hey, Xavier Rhodes, see you later. Hey, Everson Griffin, it's been nice, see you later.
Conclusion.
There's some other ones.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. These are core guys, though. And remember, you and I were both at the front of the line last year saying, pay
100%.
Zeke, pay Zeke, pay Zeke. What did the Cowboys get out of Zeke after they paid him?
Yeah, no, not what they should have. That's for sure. You're right. But you didn't pick one either, so stop making me answer
None
these
of the
damn
above.
things. Okay.
None of them.
Okay, fine.
Of the three, though, if I had to take one, and that's the way it's framed, Cousins or Cook or Zimmer, I'd probably go Zimmer. But I would want him to buy into the notion that they need to be making plans for an offense that involves a quarterback that can do something when the running game isn't there and when the protection breaks down. Because Kirk Cousins, and Vikings fans get mad about this. I mean, folks, use your eyes. He can do nothing when the running game isn't there and when the protection breaks down. He just crumbles. That's it. There are quarterbacks who know how to extend a play. They do it horizontally, they take off running the ball, or they step up into the pocket, they slide around, or they know who the ball's going to before they even get it in their hands, and the ball's out before the pocket collapses. They need a quarterback who can move like the young quarterbacks who are doing so well and who can process information more quickly.
Shut up and pick
Next
one.
up,
what did you pick?
if you're this, I said Zimmer.
Sorry.
I said Zimmer.
Okay, got it.
So you shut up.
Okay, well.
If you're the Saints, would you rather give Drew Brees one last crack at it? By the way, happy birthday, Drew. He's 41 today.
Happy
or
birthday.
would you hand the keys to Taysom Hill?
Oof. This is a tough one. This really is. There's no,
Not for me.
I would hand the keys to Taysom Hill. I would. Again, hey, Drew Brees does some really good things. There's no doubt about that. I don't know. I question whether Drew Brees, can he win you games deep in the playoffs anymore? I don't know about that either. I don't. Hey, the Rams game a few years ago in the NFC Championship game, that should have been 21-0. Instead, they let the Rams hang around. There's the issues of throwing the ball deep. Hey, they lost all their games this year. Drew Brees was the starter, not Teddy Bridgewater. I think Taysom Hill brings an interesting skill set. The team's set up to be able to be successful around him. He showed me enough with his throwing, not only in the regular season, but what he did in the preseason, that's gone to starting quarterback level type of throws. So this is a really close one. But, yes, I do think I go Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I think I go Taysom Hill, and it's not that close for me. I think that a lot of what we've seen from Drew Brees the past couple of years is the product of Sean Payton, even though he has still generated phenomenal statistics. His passer rating for 2019, the highest of his career. He had that night for the ages against the Colts. But, look, you can't keep both. You can't. If you pay Brees on top of the dead money they're carrying, $21.3 million from past contracts, there's no way you're going to be able to match an offer sheet that comes in for Taysom Hill. Now, in that case, the best case scenario, you get a first-round pick for Taysom Hill. But I think there are multiple teams, maybe teams that would be percolating down at the bottom of the draft, so it's not that big of a first-round pick that you're getting, that will come in and make an offer that you won't be able to match on Taysom Hill. Yeah. When Sean Payton says the guy's Steve Young, I don't think he's playing the okie doke on someone.
No, definitely not.
I think he means it.
Yes.
And he was the best player on the field in that game against the Vikings a week and a half ago. So I'd go Taysom Hill, especially with Sean Payton there, to get the most out of him.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And you said it better than I did. Also, hey, yes, it was great completion percentage, great quarterback rating, all of that. The Saints weren't dangerous on offense. They're not dangerous. I would rather him be less of a completion percentage and less of a quarterback rating and more dangerous. And that's the issue. We've seen when teams start to take away the five, all the plays you talked about, the Sean Payton plays. When you take those away, where Sean Payton can't get Michael Thomas wide open over the middle or Alvin Kamara wide open coming out of the backfield, the offense, it hurts. And that's what's happened to them in all their losses or any of their big playoff games. Those completions are taken away. And then Drew Brees is just not going to beat you with his right arm right now. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. And he's still really good and can do a lot of good, but he can't carry the team. And I don't know if he can get them over the hump to get them to the Super Bowl and win that game.
A very wise man once told me that the healthy tension between coach and franchise quarterback is the competition with the coach coming up with easy touchdown passes, easy first downs in the play that's drawn up, and the quarterback making something out of nothing on the fly.
Sure.
That's how they one-up each other.
Right.
And I really do think that over the past couple of years in New Orleans, it's been skewed far more toward what Sean Payton draws up, not Drew Brees making something out of nothing.
Right.
Case in point, what happened when Michael Thomas ran the wrong route in that Vikings game?
Yeah, exactly.
It all
right.
broke down.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a real point.
All right, last one. If you only get one this weekend, who would you rather see with the ball down by 4 points with 2 minutes left and 75 yards to go for the berth in the Super Bowl? Aaron Rodgers of the Packers or your homie and my homie, Patrick Mahomes?
Gosh, so we're just saying who we would rather see. It's not like who we think is better here.
Which guy? Who would you rather see? Who would you rather want to watch with the ball on their own 25, down 4, 2 minutes left? Your guy Rodgers or our guy Mahomes?
Gosh, I mean, this is like, who would I rather see? I mean, of course, I love watching both of these guys. I guess right now, for this moment, I'd rather see Aaron Rodgers, just because I feel like there's going to be more pressure on him. Now,
right.
I think Mahomes might be.
And this is,
yeah.
And we're going to see Mahomes for the next 15 years.
That's what I mean. Exactly right. Yes. Yeah. So when you just say who would you rather, I'm going with Rodgers. Yes, because of the magnitude of the career and everything that could all be enhanced with him going to another Super Bowl, LaFleur, first-year head coach, all of those things going into it. Yes, I guess I would rather go with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we're going to be spoiled by Patrick Mahomes for the next generation or maybe close to it. For Aaron Rodgers and his appreciation of the fact that he's getting closer and closer to the end. Peter King noticed when he was at Lambeau Field on Sunday a different attitude from Aaron Rodgers because he understands that every spin is one spin closer to no more spins for Aaron Rodgers.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.